Hey, what's up guys, it's Adrian here, and in this tutorial I explain to you the Boolean operation and how to use it properly. Now we are inside of 3ds Max, but you can tag along and follow my instruction and apply to other 3D packages. They all share the same tools. So inside of 3ds Max, let's create a box in here like that. Let's convert to editable poly and let's go to create and change the standard primitives to compound objects. Let's go and select Pro Boolean. Now first thing you see in here, it says pick Boolean, start picking an object. So let's create an object like a cylinder. I'm gonna activate auto grid and just create this cylinder right here. I'm gonna rotate it around, activate snap angle, rotate it like 90 degrees and push it inside so it's overlap on our box. Let's go back, select our box, let's go to the modifier list and let's see what we have here. We have 4 different options in here. We can select the reference, copy, move, instance. In the parameters here, you can see all these different operations. We have union, intersection, subtraction, merge, attach, and insert. At default, the start picking option is at move and operation is at union. So let's go ahead and see what it does, the union and move. So start picking, hit it on the start picking and select the cylinder. Alright, so the union operation combines 2 objects into one, and this move option right here will delete my original and my the Boolean object. So if I go back, undo that and change it to copy or reference and I select it, you can see I have my cylinder right here and I can use it multiple times. Alright, so you can go down here and see this order list. We can add as much as Boolean operation as you want here. For example, I can use my cylinder multiple times. Let's undo that and let's go and try out instance. Now instance is very interesting. It's kind of like a live Boolean in ZBrush. It's very interesting. For example, I can use it, change it, the copy to instance, set the operation to union, and start picking this cylinder right here. Now, if I can move this, my box over here, and I can go back to my cylinder and change the side. For example, I can increase or decrease and see what's happening in here. My box in here, the Boolean operation will update automatically. I can increase or decrease the size in here. For example, I can like move it out and in. I can scale it out and it will automatically update it on my box. Very exciting. So instance is one of the coolest new feature added to the Pro Boolean inside of 3ds Max, and other 3D application share this feature as well. Let's not brag about it, So I explained this pick Booleans and selections in here. So let's go down here to an operation. So union operation combines 2 objects into one. The intersection operation retains only the overlapping section of 2 objects. Now the subtraction operation subtract the only overlapping portion of one object from another. And the merge operation combines objects without actually remove all these extra interfaces and add a bunch of new edges where the objects overlap. Just attach the object together without using any anything to them. It's like using the simple attach on your edit. Geometry and insert is like a subtraction, but it's retain the original Boolean object. So let's try them out. Union, we just try that out. Let's go change it to intersection and change it to move and select on stop picking and stop picking our cylinder. As you can see here, the intersection only retain the overlapping section, which will be here like that. The subtraction is probably the most used operation of all of these operations. It just subtracts the overlapping of our cylinder on our box like that. Subtracts the cylinder on our box here. Again, the merge tool operation combines two objects without removing the faces in here. You can see all these faces and edges remove, and if I convert to editable poly, try to connect all these edges together, which does a very terrible job in here. Let's undo that. Undo that here. Again, undo that. All right, so let's go back to our box here. And insert is very interesting. It's kind of like a subtraction and remain my cylinder the same place. Let's start picking, move, and insert. You can see if I convert to editable poly, I have my cylinder, my Boolean object in here, the cylinder, and my box. We have a subtraction. Very interesting. You can use this method to create some sort of panel line. It's very handy to create all kind of a panel line or cut one portion model into two. Very handy tool as well. Let's just go back onto that, and we have two options in here: imprint and cookie. So the cookie option calls the operation to cut the original object without adding any of the faces from the picked object to the original object. Now, I mean, it's not complicated, but I'm just gonna cut this box without any faces. Just gonna cut the box. For example, select union, cookie, stop picking, and just gonna cut it without adding any faces. And imprint is very interesting. Imprint option calls the outline of the cylinder, all the outline of the cylinder be appear on the original object. It's very handy. So select start picking this object, and you can see the whole outline of my cylinder appears on top of my box. It's a very handy tool. For example, let me show you what we can do about that. For example, I can select my box in here, and let's go to the standard parameters. Let's create an object. For example, let's create a star like that. Create a simple star, and I want this star to be appeared only the outline edges or faces on top of my box. So I have the ability to connect it and I'll modify it. Again, select the star, create it. Let's go to the modifier list and just change the point in here to make it more like a star in here. And let's add because this is a line, we have to convert it to editable poly, and I change the extrude modifier on top, extrude it like that, and push it in to overlap. Let's select the board box here, and use the imprint. It doesn't matter to change the operation to union interaction. It does the same thing. It's just gonna imprint this star outline on the original block, which will be here like that. Now we have this star outline on my original box in here. Now I can go ahead and push it down or push it up, extrude it up. Very handy and cool stuff here. All right, so let's go back onto that, and let's go back to the original shape. So let's just delete them all, and let's create a box in here, and let me explain what we can do with the Boolean and how to use Boolean properly. Again, let me select this object here, and let's go to the compound object and apply per Boolean, and let's create our Boolean object in here. Let me just go and create, for example, cylinder like that, and push it inside to overlap. Let's go all the way through our model like that. Something like that. Let's go to the geometry and use it like 10 sides here. All right. Now, two things you have to keep in mind when you apply any Boolean operation. First thing is that you have to be prepare your geometry before you apply any Boolean operation, and second is to clean up the geometry after you apply the Boolean operation. So, for example, before I go ahead and start picking, and I want to subtract this cylinder, subtract this cylinder, and apply it to my box in here like that. Before I do all of that, I just remove the Boolean operation and add a bunch of segments on my box like that. I'm gonna prepare my geometry, so after what I want to clean the geometry, it will be much easier to clean it up. For example, I want this edge right here to be aligned with this edge on this cylinder right here. For example, I can go to the snap it to the edge segment or vertex, and snap this one in here. I can go to the options and enable axis constraint tool. Then I'll be able to only move it on one axis like that. Select this one, move it to this edge right here. Select this edge and move it right here to be aligned exactly aligned to this cylinder like that. Now, as you can see, it's exactly aligned to all of these cylinder right here. All right, that is good enough. In here, we're almost done. And after we prepare our box here, the original object, now I'm gonna go ahead and go to compound object and applying the Boolean operation and subtract this cylinder, subtract this cylinder object from one another like that. And as you can see, all my edges is gone and been removed. I can go on the advanced option and select no edge removal, so my edges will maintain the same. Now I convert to editable poly and go to the selection, vertex selection, and you can see all these extra unnecessarily vertex created by default when you apply the Boolean operation. You can remove it by using a simple vertex cleaner or other free plugin. You can download it and hit delete, or you can just delete and control backspace on your keyboard. So deleted, 36 vertex has been deleted. Now select all the vertices right there and right click, and well, let's weld them all together like that. There we go. And look at that, we have perfect geometry. We don't need to do any cleanup, add any edge loop in here, in that. It's just perfect intrusion on our model. Very easy, very fast. We don't need to do anything. We can add more, support edge loop in here and there and call it done. Very easy. So Boolean operation is all about preparing your geometry before you're applying any Boolean operation. All right, for example, I want to use another Boolean operation. I want to have some kind of a panel line in here like that. I want some kind of a panel line on these faces. So I can go ahead and just add a bunch of segment in here, but I can use Boolean as well. So let me go to the editable poly, and let's just duplicate this object. Duplicate it, and let's select all the faces that I want to apply the panel line on them. Let's just Control I, and delete. Let's go to the isolate mode, and before applying any Boolean operation, all your there shouldn't be any hole on your object. So cap it, close all the open face you have in there, and just have a clean geometry overall. It will go a long way. Help you later on. All right, so this is the object in here that I want to apply the Boolean operation. This is my Boolean object in here. Let's select the box in here again. Let's go to the compound object, apply the pro Boolean, and I want to use insert. I can use insert or interaction. For example, I want to use subtraction. Let's use subtraction. All right, subtraction, move, and start picking. Let's start picking this. Let's go all the way down. Advanced option, no edge removal. All right, you can see it just subtracts my box in here, and it creates a cut in here. But how can we achieve the panel line I'm talking about just before? It's very easy. I can duplicate this object in here, duplicate it, copy, and with this new object I can go in here and change the subtract to change it to intersection and hit change operation. So the operation change from subtraction to interaction. Now we have two separate objects, right? Let's select them all together, come to editable poly, and they just attach them together. Attach them like that. All right. Now let's go to the vertex mode and clean out the geometry. Vertex cleaner, delete it like that. All right. Now we can go ahead and go to elements mode, and you can see we just cut through our box here, and we have two different elements like that. Very exciting and very fast. I just use the intersection and subtraction on my box here. Very easy and very effective method to create a panel line in here. I can go ahead and apply, chamfer modifier on top, but before I have to do a little bit of cleanup in here. Well, let's just show you the basic. Change the uniform to radial, and let's just increase the depth to all the edges to be sharp like that. And let's go down here and change the angle to like 30 or 40 to remove all these extra support edge loop on my cylinder because I want my cylinder to be smooth. I don't want it to be hard edge. And let's apply a turbo smooth modifier on top. Increase the duration like that. And we have this beautiful panel line in here. Very easy. I hope so. This was the end of this tutorial. I hope you like it. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and see you guys next time. Take care.